a brief history of the United States of America. Hi, boys and girls, ready to get started?
United States is a big country where many people around the world comes. In 2013, research estimates that 138 million people would like to move to this country. The United States remains the most popular destinations in the world for potential migrants. This is likely because of economic opportunities in the country and the established network of potential migrants. In addition, the United States again tied with Germany in 2012 as the country with the highest leadership approval ratings in the world. But when it comes to a desired place to live permanently, no other country compares with the United States. Diversity and variety offer students from Muslim countries to come and to study here. Many of these students were escaping from conditions of conflict and chaos in their home countries. However, some of these students represented the best and brightest of their nations, with high hopes of returning home after graduations. Having experienced democracy and civic engagements firsthand in America, as well as their American dreams. Is it true that they have got their American dreams?
When I was little, my imaginations about the United States is something that is really huge, that not everyone can achieve the dream of living in the United States. So since I was little, I always have that dreams in my head that one day I will come to the United States and be somebody in the United States. So in the year 2005, I got an opportunity to come studying in the United States. After I graduated from my master, I continued to my PhD program until I obtained my PhD 3 years ago. At that time, people only know me that I'm a girl from Indonesia. They don't really know that I'm also a Muslim. Because when I came to the United States, I was not wearing my head cover, or we call it hijab, which is one of the identity of Muslim, well, especially women, Muslim women. The reason why I did not wear my head cover is because I was kind of like afraid. What will people whether people are going to accept me or not with this head cover. So I decided not to put it on until 3 years ago, when I started to think that it is time for me to show my identity. That I'm not only an Indonesian, but I'm also a Muslim, which I think it's very important that people know that. So one of the concerns that I have at that time is that what if people will change after I put on my hijab? But I just think that, well, I just have to take the risk. So the first time I wear my hijab, I just stay in the place where I work. I did not have the courage to go outside of my working place. The good thing at that time is that all of my co-workers in the place where I work, they're all very encouraging. They did not give any bad comments or any negative comments, which makes me to think that, well, if I'm okay in this small area, maybe I should go outside and see what other people will think of my headscarf. So I did. I come out from the place where I work, in the lab. I come out to the department, and still people treat me the same way before I put on my hijab and after I put on my hijab. And that really gets me to think that, well, actually this hijab really is not something that I should be afraid of showing what I really am. And I went outside more. So I went to outside to the university, and everyone still treat me the same way. So I started to think that, well, maybe it's not because of the hijab, it's just how we treat people, how we interact with people that really matters. So after I finished my study, I started to think that, well, I need to start looking for a job. And of course, one of my concerns at that time is, will I ever get a job? Because I'm an international, I'm a female, and I'm wearing a head cover. Which is kind of like a very difficult situation. In the following year, I got an offer from the University of the Ozarks, a Presbyterian school in Arkansas, to work as an assistant professor of chemistry. I came to the University of the Ozarks with a little bit of worry because I'm not sure what will people perceive me with my headscarf working in a Presbyterian school. But when I arrived at the University of the Ozarks, all my worry disappeared because everyone was very friendly and everyone was very helpful. The opinion that in Islam women are being oppressed, I don't think is a correct opinion, especially in education part. For example, people tend to think that women in Islam are not allowed to go to school or to have a high level of education. The educations that I have since I was little is the one that built me as a human being now. How we treat others, how to respect others if we want to be respected as well.
And actually Islam just supports us to educate or to learn, or so to get the chance to go any place. Even the Prophet, peace be upon him, said just find the information, the knowledge, even in China. And he also said, peace be upon him, ask and go to have education till the time you will die. There is no chance just to sit and say that I just have a good knowledge and enough knowledge. And actually the first verse in the Holy Book of Muslims, the Quran, says Iqra, means read, means you have to learn, you have to find the truth, you have to go to have your knowledge by yourself.
I was born and grew up in war in Afghanistan, but although that we didn't have a lot of opportunity for education because of war, but one thing, my own personal commitment, my family, that encouraged me and motivated me to pursue higher education in the United States. I remember very well that when I was going to high school, even at the university undergraduate school, that we were in class and sometimes the rocket would come and land on the campus on daily basis and explode it. But
the Taliban have claimed responsibility for a suicide bomb attack that killed at least 3 foreign service members in Kabul, Afghanistan.
Right on. Let's go get some guns.
Subject of a global online conversation, the tragic murder of 3 Muslim students in North Carolina in the United States.
Police are investigating whether the murder of 3 young Muslims in North Carolina in the United States is racially motivated.
The terrorism is do nothing to Islam. Islam is against any violence. Islam never teach us to kill people or to harm even a very small insects. It's just trying to tell us that we have to prevent any life. We seek for peace. So this is only the way when I find some people and just public place say, oh, Muslim, what do you think about ISIS? What do you think about these things? So I'm just keep quiet actually, because I don't want to go in negotiation with these people that they may, of course, be biased. And you know where this conversation will lead me to, so I'm just keep quiet in the situations.
I don't think that is what Islam is about. I tend to think that that is what a terrorism is about, because Islam promotes peace, not violence.
That we are suffering from the terrorism even in Saudi Arabia. Our people are dying because of these terrors, as you also suffering. So it's not fair just to tell that because I'm Muslim, I'm just a part of this international problem.
Does Islam promote violence?
Islam doesn't promote violence or peace. Islam is just a religion, and like every religion in the world, it depends on what you bring to it. If you're a violent person, your Islam, your Judaism, your Christianity, your Hinduism is going to be violent. There are marauding Buddhist monks in Myanmar slaughtering women and children. Does Buddhism promote violence? Of course not. People are violent or peaceful, and that depends on their politics, their social world, the way...
For instance, I live here in Arkansas, where basically it's a Bible Belt. But even though I have a head cover, even though I'm wearing a head cover, but I just feel that people treat me the same way as they treat other people. Yes, sure, they are curious about my appearance, where I came from, and everything like that, but I have never feel being threatened as far as I live in Arkansas.
Although there was at the time that the Afghanistan was under the control of the Taliban, and I was at university, there was no hope for the future, because they stopped women going to school, they stopped women working, and they would not allow women to walk out, and they would not allow listen to the music, and they would not allow TV and these kind of things. In fact, we were living in a dark period, but despite that dark period, I was still hopeful for the future, and I continued to study hard, and which paid off, and I got my master's degree from 2006 to 2008.
The Islam in Indonesia is very much different than Islam that is being reported in the news. When I grew up, I have a lot of friends from different religion as well. So we are very tolerant to other religion. Even in the family, we have not only Muslim but also Christians and Hindu in the family, and we respect each other. That's what Islam that I know.
Is there a stigma for Islamic students or people that come from the Islamic tradition? And how is that being perceived in this community? And so one of the things that the interfaith community wants to do is to eradicate stigma. Even though this is a very conservative community, and we know that there will always be people who will not be open to meeting somebody from the Islamic tradition or eating lunch with them or something at a common table, we know that there may be a majority that are open to that. So our goal in the River Valley Interfaith community is to encourage cooperation and collaboration and dialogue and understanding and relationships between those Muslim students and adults and professors and their wives that live here in this community, so they'll feel welcome here and stay. And so an example, I don't know anything about the Islamic faith tradition, okay? So I am going to a birthday dinner, and I'm with 2 other couples, and I invite a Muslim couple, a professor and his wife from Tech. And so even though I've seen them in the community, I've never shared a meal with them. Over the course of 2 to 3 hours, we're eating, we're talking. It comes up, do you have birthdays in your country? Oh yes, we have birthdays. We celebrate birthdays, of course. Well, tell us about how you came to come to Russellville, Arkansas. Thus, we hear their story. Then we find out why other students are here. We find out that we're more alike than different. We tell our stories about our grandchildren, our family traditions. They tell us their stories. We begin to break down the barriers of fear and misunderstanding. And we begin to say things like, oh, you know, in our country, people actually think that you are a terrorist if you're Muslim. And we laugh because we know that's not true. And when we get serious about it, we know that we have to stop it. But the only way we know to stop it is to utilize that relationship building. So I am all about thinking now that by building relationships, we can erase some stigma. Also, let's just say Susan and her husband who go to my church, they might say, well, I don't really know any Muslim people while we're having lunch. I don't really know any Muslim people. Are you afraid? And I say, oh, no, let me tell you about some friends of mine. And then I can begin to share by word of mouth to other people that, no, I actually have friends that are Muslim. And they actually go to the Islamic Center. And we've actually shared a meal. And we've actually gone to their place of worship. And they're very hospitable. And they're just like us.
Thomas Wolfe said, to every man, regardless of his birth, his signings, golden opportunity, the right to live, to work, to be himself, and to become whatever thing his manhood and his visions can combine to make him.
Sadly, though, it's true. The American dream is not so real anymore.
Founding dream not real? Down the tubes? Is this true?
The bedrock of our economic success is the American dream. It's a dream shared in big cities and small towns, across races, regions, and religions, that if you work hard, you can support a family. That if you get sick, there will be health care that you can afford.
I think the American dream depends on the person. He's, like, you know, if each person can create his life, and if he's really dreaming, of course, I think it's the best country to realize those dreams.
Next.
Yes, and.
Hi, I'm Jeevan, and I'm studying environmental management in Yale University, and I'm a Malaysian student. And I would say I wouldn't call it the American dream. I'm following the American struggle. I would say that I'm trying to think of problems in terms of environmental problems, social inequality, poverty, and I'm trying to find ways to solve them. And that has been an American struggle with great success and some failures, and that's what I'm getting here in my education.
Actually, since I was 13 years old, I started hearing about the American dream. But Some people think it's just about freedom. No, it is not. It's about human rights. It's about education. It's about personality. I don't agree with the whole American values, but I do respect all of the American values that your people believe in. But some values which is just doesn't match with my values, I just respect it. That's all.
Thomas Wolfe says, "To every man, regardless of his birth, his signings, golden opportunity, the right to live, to work, to be himself, and to become whatever thing his manhood and his visions can combine to make him."
The American dream, when we're talking about the American dream, I think that for some it has shattered because they can't have enough for their family. And that's very sad to me, and I want to make a difference there. But for some, the American dream might mean to have a yacht and to have 3 homes to keep up. But I think that the American dream should be that every single person that lives in our nation has enough resources to have a shelter that's comfortable, to have a job that they feel good about and they can do some skills to be able to do that job, can have their family and give their family the things that they need to feed them and to clothe them. And I think that until the American dream focuses on that, that we're in a big hump of trouble.
James Truslow Adams, in his book The Epic of America, stated that the American dream is that dream of land in which life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to ability or achievements. American dream is a dream of social order in which each man and each woman shall be able to attain to the fullest stature of which they are innately capable, and be recognized by others for what they are, regardless of the fortuitous circumstance of birth or positions.
I just want to add one point, that I really respect this country. America is a respected country all around the world. Don't think that all people, I mean non-American people, just hate this concept of American dream. No, it is not. This is just a media perspective. It's not the actual perspective that we have about Americans. Just show us the peace side of America and you will have the beautiful side of the others. God bless America, and thank you very much.
Our American dream would be that in this community, which is right now where we can start, in this community, that there would be a cooperation, a time of peace and sharing of food and resources, such as one big family. And I know that that's idealist to think about it that way, but I believe that even if a microcosm of people could live that way, even if a small group could live that way and show like love and understanding for the other people that are different and find out that we're more alike than different, I believe that it will spread. And I think that it just takes a spark to start a fire.
American dream finally belongs to everyone in the world, because dream is the initial step to be a better person as well as for a better world.
I think everyone can achieve the American dream as long as they work hard and put their heart to it. As long as we keep on trying and work hard to reach what we want to be, we will always achieve that. And it does not matter whether you are from other part of the world, you have different color of skin, you have different faith than others, but I just feel that you have the same opportunity here in the US to be successful and be happy, achieve what you want to achieve, what you always dreamed before. And I think I have achieved my American dreams.